and welcome to Little Lights of Mine. Today we are going to be making homemade bread. I know that sounds intimidating, but it's the easiest thing in the world, seriously. If you have 30 minutes on your hands, you can make this bread yourself with just a few key ingredients. It's awesome. One of my New Year's resolutions was to actually make this bread every single week for my family, and I've actually kept up with it, so I'm really happy with that. The reason why I love to make this bread is because I know exactly what's going into it, so there's no added ingredients. It's awesome, and I love it so much. So I guess let's get started. We're gonna start out with 3 cups of organic flour, and I'm gonna put it all into this mixing bowl. I like to use my KitchenAid mixer. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can totally use your hands, but this just makes it way easier. I got mine at Target. So, 3 cups of organic all-purpose flour. And I'm just using my measurement cup. The measurements don't have to be super exact. You don't have to pack it down and put it in there tight. It's loose, if you can see that. That's 2. And 3. This recipe kind of works in 3s. So we're gonna do 3 teaspoons of dry active yeast. I'm using Fleischmann's yeast. It's the one you can find at every single grocery store. So we're just gonna throw that right in there. 2 and 3. We're gonna use 3 teaspoons as well of regular sugar. I love to use baker's sugar normally. Today I have finely ground cane sugar, so really whatever sugar you want to use is perfectly fine. Just make sure that it's finely ground. So 3 of that in there. Then lastly, we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon, I still have my teaspoon out, of salt. Regular salt, Morton salt, right into the bowl. Next I'm gonna put on, this is the bread attachment for the mixer, but if you're using your hands, you don't have to worry about this step. I'm just gonna pop it onto my mixer here. Super easy. Get this stuff out of the way. And pop that on there. It's locked in. It's like the coolest thing. I love it so much. Now we're gonna close this down and put the mixer on low to get all of the ingredients nicely blended. All of that stuff mixed nicely. We're gonna add in 1 cup, give or take, of warm water. I say give or take because you kind of have to watch it when you're adding the water in to make sure it doesn't get too sticky. So if you're not measuring exact, you might need a little less or a little more. So we're gonna give it a try and see how this goes. I'm first adding half, and then I'm gonna turn on my mixer and see how that mixes together. Then we're gonna slowly add in a little bit more at a time as it goes. And now lastly, I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon or pat, it's just a tablespoon, of butter into our batter for our dough. And we're gonna mix it together, and that is the final step. All right, that looks perfect. You wanna mix it until the flour starts to come off of the edges of the bowl and forms into a ball. I'll show you guys. You want to work with clean surfaces, so I'm going to wipe my counter off. And then we're just going to pour the dough right onto the countertop. Everything. This looks perfect. Set that here. And then you're just going to knead a little bit. Add a little bit more flour to my tabletop so it doesn't stick to it. And just knead. Make sure that butter gets incorporated. That's why it's important to use the warm water. Form it into a nice little ball, and then you literally just leave it on the counter, cover it with this cloth, and it's gonna rise for about 15 minutes. So I will see you guys in 15 minutes. Okay, so 15 minutes has passed, and now it's time to take a look at our bread. And it is perfect. It's risen for about 15 minutes and kind of doubled in size, and this is what we want. This is absolutely perfect. So I'm actually just gonna take a knife now and cut down the center so that we have 2 pieces. Just like so. And we're gonna take our first piece and sort of stretch it out with our hands. Everything with this recipe can be done with your hands, even the part that we did in the mixer, and that's the good part about it. So we have 1 piece, and then I'm gonna take the second, get a little flour on there so it's not sticky. We have 2 equal pieces, and now we're just gonna sort of twist the bread together, just like so. You don't have to do this step, it just makes it look really cute. And who doesn't like cute bread? Okay, so we're just gonna pop this in our pan, just like that. It's so easy. And lastly, this is an optional step, but I love to do it. I'm gonna crack an egg, mix it up, and then coat the top of the bread with a little bit of the egg. This is called an egg wash, and it just leaves a shiny, beautiful brown coat when it bakes up in the oven, and it just looks really good. So I'm gonna crack this egg, set it aside there. We're gonna mix it together. A lot of people tend to use a pastry brush for the bread. I don't have one, and I have a feeling a lot of you probably don't too, because it's not something people normally have. So I'm just gonna use my fork and simply sprinkle it and brush it over the top just using my fork. And it'll create the same effect as a pastry brush. So we're just gonna lightly put it on the top there. You don't wanna have big clumps of this egg when you're brushing it on the bread because it'll cook the egg and then you'll have an eggy bread top instead of a beautiful brown. We're now gonna pop this in the oven for 30 minutes on 350 degrees and it'll come out perfect. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes. Let's check on our bread. Oh, it looks perfect. I think we're done. Okay, so our bread is cooled and now we're gonna slice right into it and devour this delicious loaf of bread. Look at that, it popped right out, it's perfect. There we have it, delicious homemade bread. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial yet again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Little Lights of Mine. My name is Aisha, and I am a wife and a mom to my little girl, Riley.